Let's get ready to rumble. It went off the edge there. It went off the edge there. I don't know where that went. It left my control. It really left my control. She said the thing. She said the thing. I didn't play my intro video. I'll just play it once for good measure. Done. Nope. Done. 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 Dun 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 da 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 dun 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 dun. I sound like I'm in good spirits? That's good. Why did you think I would be in bad spirits? That's the question. What made you think I'd be in bad spirits? I could go off listing all the bad things that are happening right now, but why would I do that? We're here to have a fun stream. I'm sure we'll get there at some point. Oh, why is that there? There we go. That's what we're talking about. Yes, I am using, what's it called? What's it called? Incognito mode. So I'm not logged into anything. So anything you see is, oh, actually, maybe I shouldn't show Twitter. I think. I'll just for good measure not show Twitter. Lucha Libre. This was the only mask I could find. This is the only mask that Toya had. So, as many of you know, I put out a call on Twitter. I said, please, please, please link me all of your favorite wrestling moments, all your wrestling information, so that I can learn with my tiny brain. And we're gonna deep dive because I literally don't know anything about wrestling. So basically, long story short, I followed Maki Ito for a long time, but as the Tokyo Joshi Pro YouTube channel I've been watching the last week said, I was a Maki Ito Twitter lurker who then got interested in Tokyo Joshi Pro. So I've done some amount of research into Tokyo Joshi Pro and like DDT in general, but I literally don't know anything about American wrestling at all. I've never watched it. Never been a wrestling watcher. Never. I mean, I've absorbed information passively by, you know, watching English media. You know, like watching like American media. And I feel like I've also learned rapidly from just following that one Twitter account for the last couple week or so. They tweet a lot about, am I a member of the Maki Ito Neo Respect Army? I sure am. I sure am. And I know what that means. And I know the lore. Should have linked the episode of ATLA with the boulder. I mean, link it now. So basically I'm gonna go through the Twitter thread. I haven't really looked at it. I vaguely read the notifications as they came in, but wrestling has a strong background radiation presence on Twitter. Really? Background radiation. Okay, so Muldoon posted a whole, oh, it's actually not that long of a playlist. I expected this playlist to be a lot longer. Ooh, I am very concerned that if I just, so obviously we're watching this on stream, and I'm highly concerned that if I watch a WWE video, this video will get taken down. Maybe it doesn't matter if it gets taken down. I'll just record this video just in case. Where's my OBS? Start recording. Okay, now we're recording in case this video gets taken down. We haven't missed anything yet. Anytime someone says mark, work, or shoot, them's wrestling words. Okay, I started reading about this. So honestly, I feel like I honestly feel like before we get into it, I feel like I need a wrestling dictionary, because I started reading this list of like wrestling words that wrestling fans use incorrectly, and so that was part of it. Those words, so I was actually specifically looking up the definition of mark, because I was like, I've definitely heard that word, but I just want to know the exact reference, the exact definition. And now I know it. Wrestling dictionary. This is gonna be way... Oh, it's actually just defining the word wrestling. Glossary of professional wrestling terms. Okay, let's go, Wikipedia. Let's go. Where's my OBS again? Okay, so I know the concept of a mid card and a high card, and I'm assuming there's a low card. Don't know really how that applies to anything. A mark is just someone easy to fool. I don't think that's even technically correct. I mean, let's see what this guys say. I believe a mark is someone who buys into the fantasy of it all. I mean, a mark in, I believe, actually, etymology. I don't know how many of you know this. The word mark originally comes from carny culture. They would, if they came across someone who they could just, you know, they could just milk for insanely large amounts of money, they would take a bit of chalk and put it on their back so that all the other carnies would know to target them. So that was the mark. That was literally the mark. In wrestling, it's someone who buys into it, into the fantasy. Buying into the fantasy because you're fooled? I mean, is it because you're fooled or because you want to be? Mark, a wrestling fan who enthusiastically believes or behaves as though they believe professional wrestling is not staged, or loses sight of the staged nature of the business while supporting their favorite wrestlers. The term is often used pejoratively, for example, to refer to people who have little or no knowledge about the backstage, the industry as a whole. However, it is also used by some in the business to refer to all wrestling fans. Oh, interesting. There's a second definition. Used by some industry insiders to describe a participant in the wrestling industry whom they think believes that any worked aspect of the industry is more important than the money they can earn. For example, being preoccupied with holding a title belt rather than being paid more will often see a wrestler described as a mark. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Modern marks do it willingly. That's fair. Wrestling is linked to carny culture heavily. Now that you say it out loud like that, that makes perfect sense. This is a large page. I wish it was in use order. You knew a guy who would cancel bookings if he found out he was gonna lose? Jeez. I have a question for you, Muldoon. Would you say you could competently choreograph a fight? These people care about things other than money. How ridiculous of them. Well, I mean, they're essentially actors, like very, very good stunt people. They're there to entertain you. It shouldn't matter whether you're losing or winning. Okay, A show, a wrestling event where the company suggests, where the company's biggest draws wrestle. That makes sense. A team, a group of wrestling promotions top stars who wrestle at an A show. Makes sense. Abort, to suddenly discontinue a feud, angle, or gimmick due to a lack of fan interest by some other caveat, usually without explanation. I love that. Okay, I love this. This is lovely. A wrestling fight? Yes. A Hollywood fight? No. Okay. Ace, a term usually only used in Japanese puroresu, for a wrestler designated as the face of the promotion. Oh, interesting. So they use the word ace instead of face? Or an ace is always a face, but not necessarily every face is an ace. There's poking fun at someone too invested in winning and losing, and then there's doing so for negotiation or other things other than money at the expense of the salary. Not necessarily the same as the top champion. Examples of aces include these people whose names I don't know. Hello. Oh, hello. I forgot to say it. Hello, everybody. I'm just literally going to read through this so I have a vague idea. I'm probably going to forget some of this, but that's fine. Agent, also producer or coach. A management employee, often a former wrestler, who helps wrestlers set up matches, plan storylines, give criticism on matches, and relay instructions from the bookers. Agents often act as a liaison between wrestlers and higher level management, and sometimes may also help in training young wrestlers. wait. Okay, this is misleading. They mean face here, like poster child, but a heel could be the face of the promotion. Oh, so Ace doesn't have to be a face. They could also be a heel. Is that what you're saying? No, I mean, I know. Okay. I didn't know this. I do know heel and face. I'm aware of those two terms. That I know. Do they mean that they use the word ace instead of face? Actually, when I say it out loud, that does make sense. In fact, I bet you anything that it was like the loan word of face just became ace because it's so similar to how they use the word ace in Japanese sports. Ace is a poster boy. Okay, so an ace is like their... Okay, so like Saki from Tokyo Joshi Pro would be the ace. I'm assuming. I think she's the leader? I don't know. Okay, I think I understand. They're probably a face because they're literally the face of the promotion, but they are, it's not, doesn't mean face. Ace is pro tag. Yes, okay, cool. Alliance, a cooperative, okay, I know what the word alliance, I'm assuming it's pretty close to the actual English definition. Cooperative relationship developed between two or more wrestlers while they're wrestling. Differentiates from a stable and a faction as the wrestlers are not packaged together but are presented as a... Okay, well, what are these words? Okay. As the wrestlers are not packaged together but are presented as a group of individuals working together for a okay. So this is like when Maki and... see, okay, I know a few storylines. So... Or were they they weren't packaged together. This is when Maki and... What's her name? Mizuki? What was her name? This stream already rules. I'm glad you're having fun. I'm trying to take it all in as quickly as possible. Or like, let it just really absorb in my brain. Oh, I missed this one. They refer to WWE as producers and by AWE as coaches. Oh, interesting. Act as a liaison between wrestlers and high-level management and sometimes may help it. Okay. So they're not just like a on in-ring thing. They actually are a thing. Okay, anyways. The formation of an alliance can be a storyline in its own. Gotcha. Andre shot, a camera trick by which a wrestler is made to appear larger by placing the oh, it never occurred to me that the camera placement also had a level, a part of it. Angle. Okay, this this has become common English parlance. A fictional storyline, an angle usually begins when one wrestler attacks the other physically or verbally, which results in revenge. An angle may be used maybe as small as a single match or a vendetta that lasts for years. It is not uncommon to see an angle become retconned due to not getting over, due to it not going over with the fans. Wait. Oh no, is this another word? I mean, oh, weird. It's so close to like going over well, but it's slightly different. Okay, retcon would be not getting over with the fans, or if one of the wrestlers currently involved in the angle is fired. I did something similar as a referee. I would take up a wide stance to make the wrestlers in the ring look taller. Oh, that makes total sense. Whoa. Okay, After Mag, an old style of professional wrestling magazine that sticks to cave. I want to read this. The term refers to the magazines at one time connected to journalist Bill Apter. Oh, look at this guy. Such as Pro Wrestling Illustrated. Is it kayfabe or kayfab? If it's kayfab, type it in chat without the E. I guess I could also just look it up. I'm Googling it. Kayfabe pronunciation.
Kayfabe.
That's so unhelpful. Kayfabe? Okay. Did you guys hear what it said? It said kayfabe.
Kayfabe.
Okay, yeah, he says kayfabe. Okay. I don't know that is it like specifically a wrestling term? Because it is certainly a term that I've heard throughout my life. It's Pig Latin for be fake. Oh. Because I mean, I think kayfabe is like a... Yeah. Okay. Where were we? Audible. A message delivered from backstage, either to the referee using their earpiece or to the commentary team using their headsets, instructing the wrestlers and other on-screen talent on what to do, usually in order to work around a botch. Okay, they didn't link that word. Don't know what that means by changing the match on the fly. What's a botch? Pig Latin is also a Cardi thing. Oh, I didn't know that. I think it came from wrestling initially. It's a widely applicable concept, though. That's fair. Oh, and since I mentioned Tallulah as oh yeah. Muldoon was an indie wrestler and referee. Kayfabe is carny stuff, but wrestling is the surviving evolution of carny culture. You say that like carny culture doesn't exist. Carny culture still exists. There are still traveling carnies. Like, it's fully... I mean, I know that the word botch, but they definitely have a very specific term. Botch is a guy slipping off the ropes by accident. Oh, it's just literally when someone makes a mistake. It's not like a specific, like... He's not following the... Like, he's specifically not following the plan or something like that. Okay. B show. Okay, well, let's just... Okay. Baby face, C face, beat down, an angle in which a wrestler or other performer is the recipient of a one-sided beating, sometimes with brief false comebacks, usually by a group of wrestlers or after being lured into a compromising position. Botch is usually a mistake that's hard to follow or cover up. It makes everyone need to scramble to cover it up. Fair, okay. Bicycling, a now obsolete practice used in the territorial era, don't know what that means, in which television tapes were distributed to stations within a promoter's territory. Oh, how fun! So they actually bicycled to give it to them. Looking at how many of these wrestling terms are just normal words, I retroactively understand Louis' assumptions. Yeah, see, it's... I mean... Okay, blading. Also, juicing, giggling, getting color. A wrestler intentionally... Oh, this. I am aware of this. Actually, you know, I know someone who, like, one of their hobbies is they film indie wrestling matches. And so they were showing me the pictures and the people were covered in blood. I was like, oh, this is that thing, right? And this is basically what I referenced. Gigging. What did I say? Giggling? Juicing sucks and I wish they didn't do it. Fair. Fair. Recently, Kofi Kingston made a big mistake during WWE's Royal Rumble event, where he accidentally eliminated himself earlier than he should, requiring the other wrestlers to fill in the rest without him. How do you fully eliminate yourself on accident? I guess, was it like you couldn't fall out of the ring and he fell out of the ring or something like that? I just want to watch people hit each other with chairs. Blind tag. A tag made in a tag team match where the wrestler on his feet touch the floor. Gotcha. A tag made in a tag team match where the wrestler on the apron. Again, they have no citation here and I really need one. I'm assuming they mean the outside of the ring. Where the wrestler on the apron tags their partner unbeknownst to them or without their consent. A tag where the tagger's opponent is unaware a tag has occurred, leaving them open to a blindside attack as they attempt to attack the wrestler who's been tagged out. Most often occurs when the partner is in the ring, is thrown against the ropes, or backed into their own corner. Skirt around the ring. Okay. When you say skirt... One second. I looked up wrestling ring and it's mostly showing me toys. Let's just go with this one. Oh, I can't do this. So it's just this. I'm assuming. Where did my chat go? Chat? Oh, it's over here. The skirt is what the curtains are the underside of the ring platform. Okay, so if there were curtains here, that's where the skirt would be. Or maybe this is a curtain. Not really sure. Yeah, there's enough room to stand on it. Yeah, okay, yeah, I've seen that. But then I looked at a lot of the pictures and I'm like, it doesn't seem like there is, but... Oh, I see the... These are being pulled in a little bit. Okay, okay. Back to this. Okay. The green stuff. Gotcha. Okay. Okay. I'm not gonna say that aloud. An attractive male wrestler used to That's so much. I mean, I say that, but okay, you guys want to know something? You guys want to know the only other wrestler I have ever followed was Joey Ryan. I don't know if you know who that is, but no one says that. That's fair. I would imagine they don't, to be honest. I'm just gonna pull that off screen. Blown spot. See, missed spot. Okay, we'll get there later. No. I didn't follow him super closely. I don't know if he's a bad guy or something, but I mean, anyways. Anyways, blow off the final match in a feud. While the involved wrestlers often move onto new feuds. He got ousted as a pest? No! Damn. There he goes. Haven't looked at any of his posts in quite a long time. Ah, okay. Damn. Blow off the final match in a feud. While the involved wrestlers often move on to new feuds, sometimes it is the final match in the promotion for one or more of the wrestlers to become exhausted during a match. Okay. Bonzo Gonzo, an ending used in tag team and other multi-party matches in which all wrestlers are in the ring and the referee cannot restore order. Okay. I know that word because it is common English parlance. Boom, boom, boom. A match segment, often near the end of the tag team or multi-party matches when competitors perform their signature moves in quick succession. Boom, boom, boom. We already went through botch. Brett's rope. One second. It's like super dark in my room. Okay. The second rope of a wrestling ring, the middle rope, often considered the most dangerous rope. I'm assuming because named after wrestler Bret Hart, who frequently struck from this rope. They couldn't have used a more, like, a picture from when he was wrestling. I don't know. Is it considered the most dangerous rope because if you try to jump, you get caught by the top rope? Broadway, a match that ends in a time limit draw. To fall on the mat or ground. A flat back bump is a bump in which a wrestler lands solidly on their back. You've never heard that? That's fair. The Brett's rope, you've never heard? A flat back bump is a bump in which a wrestler's wrestler lands solidly on their back with high impact, spread over as much surface as possible. A phantom bump. Brett's rope is a meme that has somehow eluded wiki editors? Interesting. Who am I? I'm a VTuber who's trying to learn about wrestling. That's who I am. Botches usually result in bumps. A phantom bump occurs when a wrestler or referee takes a bump without a plausible reason, usually due to a botch or other mistake. Okay. Okay. So when they say fall on the mat or ground, they mean like out of the ring. They don't mean like that you fall flat on your back in the middle of the ring. They mean you fall flat on your back outside the ring. Yes? Question mark? I'm assuming. Okay. A burial? Jeez. Okay. The worked lowering. Relegation. I don't know English, apparently. I don't think I've ever had to read that word in my entire life. Relegation of a wrestler's status in the eyes of the fans. Bumps are for all falls? Bumping is the main language of taking a move. The best and safest bumps are... Okay. Okay, so it is just any time you're falling on your back. Is the mat not the ring? Yeah, actually, that's a good question. Is the mat the ring platform? Flat back bump, front pump, knee dump, bump. Gotcha, okay. The opposite of a push. It is the act of a promoter or booker causing a wrestler to lose popularity and or credibility or damaging their gimmick through all means, such as forcing them to lose in squash matches. Need to look up that word too. Losing continuously, allowing opponents to no sell or kick out of... There's just so many words in succession that I don't know. The mat is part of the ring, but is the mat the ring? Like, is the mat like a mat outside of the ring? Like there's mats on the ground outside of the ring, or is the mat like just the top part of the ring? You know what? Ooh, here. I have no idea how true this is. Ooh, this one's way more involved. I know a no sell because it's on TV tropes. Lots of places place additional mats and padding outside of the ring. Gotcha. The ring is the mat. Turnbuckle, ropes, and apron. Okay. Selling is when you take a light bump and... Yes, okay. I know the word selling because that's also used just in like acting. Outside mats are usually called crash mats. The main mat is the outside of the ring. Crash mats are thicker. It's presumably on the glossary somewhere. Question. Like a general question. If you wanted to like perform wrestling, would it be okay to do it just on crash mats? Or is that like not good enough? I'm trying to find an image right now that like points to all the parts of the ring and defines them, but I'm kind of having a hard time doing that. So I guess we'll skip it. Okay. Oh, sorry, I'm burping. I had Coca-Cola. You should absolutely have basics down, and that involves taking bumps. Lou, what are you planning? Don't worry about what I'm planning. Don't worry about what I'm planning. If you don't have tons of practice, you only do safe moves. Right. But if I'm talking about people that are trained professionals, not me. Not me. I'm assuming a crash mat is the equivalent of it. Anyways, I'm not gonna... Don't just plan on thick mats to save you from bad bumps. Yeah, that's... But could you? Like, is it... If you are a trained professional, can you? The complete act usually relies on having a ring, but you can make do without it. Okay. Okay. Okay, sorry. Okay, we kind of got off of this glossary. Right, a burial, whatever. Allowing opponents to no sell or kick out. Kick out? Okay, that's right. I clicked on that. I did. Over. Oh, there's so many words. We'll just get there eventually. There's a small group in Japan that basically wrestles on a crash mat and a stage window in like a subway station. The thing is, would anyone watch or enjoy a match on all thick padding? The main point is entertaining the audience. Yeah. We're reading Leviticus. Kinda. Right. This is off topic, but this reminds me of in K-pop, if a artist breaks a rule, like for instance getting caught with a cell phone or getting caught going out late or something like that, they do this. They'll like give them less lines in the song, and they'll like give them less parts of the dance. They won't let them go to concerts, etc, etc, etc. Business, professional wrestling instead of profession or sport. So like the wrestling business, or I get the idea. Anyways, Bust Open. Oh, bleh. C Show, an event featuring the lowest level of talent in a promotion, most notably rookies and entry-level talent, often used as a derogatory adjective. To instruct the other wrestler on what's going to happen in the match also refers to commentators detailing what's happening during a match. Gotcha. Call it in the ring. To make up moves and storytelling in a match on the fly rather than rehearse them in advance. It is essentially the wrestling equivalent of improvisational theater. Oh my gosh. So my old roommate was really into improv, and she only ever convinced me to go to an improv show once. And it was a fully improvised musical. The music, the lyrics, the singing, the characters, the whole show was completely improvised, which is so crazy to me that they can improvise a whole song. Not just one song, a whole musical. It was crazy. It wasn't a very good musical. Don't remember anything about it, but it's impressive. Oh no, we got pinched for weed and lost his title in 30 seconds. Oh! Was it good? No, it wasn't good. It was a fine improv, but it wasn't memorable. It wasn't a memorable musical. Now, there is a really great clip of some improvisational musical stuff on YouTube. Oh, this is so random. I'll show you guys really quick. Vaguely on topic. College Humor is now called Dropout, and it's actually really good. I have a subscription to it.
But in one train car.
Here. You can just listen to it. This is a completely improvised song.
Our hero and our villain are about to meet, and in a scene that will at some point graduate to song, a confrontation takes place. If our players are so inclined, they may incorporate
I don't know how long
the
this
phrase
is.
for a
I don't think they
bonus
actually get to the song part.
Ticket to nowhere.
Suddenly the dream I had would come to a full stop. Suddenly all the dreams in my head I would have to drop. Everything I've been working for and building in my life, I would have to throw it to the side. That's a ticket to nowhere for me. That's a ticket to nowhere for me.
But in one train.
Okay, you get the idea. That's like a classic, like, improvised musical thing. Anyways, you have to be specifically trained in improvised musical. It's really interesting. It's super interesting. But anyways. If you're using crash mats to keep the wrestlers safer, then they're not trained. So... Interesting. Anyways, back to stream. Music's a little low. There we go. Okay. Camera kills. Empty seats that are not sold due to being right behind a permanent camera location, which would result in obstructed view. Oh. Card. Okay. This is the thing I had heard about, the mid card and the lineup of matches. The lineup of the matches that will be staged at a given venue or given performance. A card is generally performed in a roughly inverse order to the way in which it might be printed on posters or other promotional materials. That's interesting. The major matches between well-known opponents are said to be top of the card or the main event. Wait. The lineup of the matches that will be staged at a given venue for a given performance. The card is generally performed in roughly reverse order to the way in which it might be printed for posters or other promotional materials. The major matches between well-known opponents are said to be top of the card. Okay, or the main event, and generally go on last, while the preliminary matches between lesser-known opponents are said to be the undercard. Gotcha, yeah. Gotcha, yeah. Gotcha. Carpenter, a term for a wrestler whose purpose is to use their in-ring abilities, to make their opponents look as good and strong as possible. This is different from an enhancement talent in that a wrestler is used as a carpenter because they are recognized as having great in-ring abilities and experience. Often, but not always, a carpenter is an older, more experienced wrestler tasked with making less experienced wrestlers look like a credible threat going into the next program. Interesting. In modern times, a carpenter is also used when a company is preparing to present a recent signee who may not be familiar to the audience. In an effort to help the wrestler best showcase their abilities because of their skill and role in building up talent, carpenters are regarded with a great deal of respect. Interesting. Interesting. Oh, carpenters are not regarded with a great deal of respect? That's unfortunate. I can see that. I mean, the general audience in the world doesn't have a great amount of media critical eye. So I can see why that would be the case. Carry, the act of one wrestler guiding a typically less experienced or skilled performer through a match. Okay, well, so it's just like the regular word carry. A carry job refers to a match or angle in which one particularly skilled performer is able to make an inferior wrestler look good or is perceived to be doing all the work. Chain wrestling, a sequence of traditional grappling moves usually employed near the start of a match, more common in Japan and Mexico than the US. Interesting. Champion's advantage. The rule that a reigning champion should they lose during a title defense or count out or disqualification rather than the traditional means of pinfall or submission, would retain their title despite losing the match. It can sometimes be revoked as part of a storyline. What? I truly don't understand. I mean, I understand what they're saying, but why? This seems absolutely insane to me. Like, I'm sure there's like a story reason for this. Like, it's not interesting. It's not interesting if they lose it by a technicality. But for part of the storyline, they can still just take it back sometimes. This is confusing me. It's for story purposes? Okay. Okay, so it is just for drama. Okay. How weird. Cheap heat. The incitement of a negative crowd reaction by insulting the crowd en masse. Typically by bringing up something unrelated to the wrestling business, such as mocking a local town or sports team. Usually used in a negative light. Foreign heel wrestlers like Iron and Sheik often get this by insulting whatever country they're performing in. Cheap pop. Cheap pop! The incitement of a positive crowd reaction by kissing up the crowd. Mick Foley would often... a lot of these feel really specific. Dirty champs will intentionally get disqualified to keep the title. Gotcha. Okay. A match ending without cheating. Oh, sorry, I didn't finish this. It's great. This whole thing feels like it was written by one person, because it's like Mick Foley is like a really weird, random, specific example, but it's also not marked as it's a citation. Anyways, would often do this by saying it's great to be here in. That got them riled up. This is too easy. The Rock would begin mini promos by saying, finally, The Rock has come back to blank. They got the audience's side over with that? I guess that is cheap. That's pretty cheap. Heels often follow the same principle, but in reverse, they get booed. Yeah, and then we look at cheap heat. Clean finish. A match ending without cheating, outside interference, or any type of controversy. Usually the center of the ring after executing a finisher. See, dusty finish or screw job. This is too easy, that's why it's cheap. Exactly, yeah. He's really good at saying it, to be fair. Okay, I guess maybe if I heard him say it, I'd be like, yeah, it is great to be here. It is great to be here in Oklahoma. Closet champion, a title holder, usually heel, who ducks top fight matches, cheats to win, and then forced to wrestler deliberately cause. Oh, okay, this is exactly what we were just talking about. Yes, this is exactly what we were just talking about. Okay, so it's a heel who just keeps the gets the championship by not fighting. Mick Foley is very charming. It's easy to win over drunk yokels who come for violence. Color, the amount of blood. Like, okay, is this literal bloodshed or is this like metaphorical bloodshed? I would assume metaphorical. It's like the high risk of wrestling. I know the word comeback. A literal yes. Oh, God. Okay. A literal, the amount of literal blood shed in the arena. Gotcha. Thank you. See, this is why I have to do this stuff on stream. It's so much faster for me to just get the answer immediately from people who know what they're talking about. I know the word comeback, usually done by faces to earn sympathy. The expression feeding a comeback refers to a behavior by heels to increase the dramatic impact of a comeback. Getting color is a synonym for gigging and blading. Oh. Doesn't happen in WWE, but happens in all the other orgs. Okay. See, this is why I love having chat here. Crimson Mask, a face covered in blood. Oh. Ugh. Cross promotion. I know the word cross promotion. I'll just skim it. Yeah, okay. Although, you know what? Oh my God. It never occurred to me that that word comes from wrestling. Because I always thought it was like, oh, you're both promoting each other. But it probably comes from wrestling, doesn't it? Or did they sort of just, they just mean the same thing, but that doesn't necessarily come from wrestling? I guess we can look it up. I don't like to type. Etymology. Let's go to Wikipedia. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it necessarily came directly from... Yeah, I think they just mean the same thing. Yeah, I think they just mean the same thing. But it's just funny because in wrestling, it of course has a different connotation in that it is two different promotional leagues, right? That's kind of interesting. Also, Forbidden Door? Forbidden Door? Forbidden Door? Why? Where does that come from? Some promoters have used cross-promotional style angles to further interest. Cross-promotional dates come back to the early days of wrestling as challenges between rival promoters. What is Forbidden Door? I like how they didn't bother to write the definition on this one. Cutoff, also getting the heat. A point in which a match in which the heel stops the face's attack or comeback and goes on the offensive. Oh. I don't think I'm gonna remember this. It doesn't feel like much of a... I mean, I guess it makes sense. So they call me bedroom because I'm stinky. Uh-oh. Stinky. Dark match. A non-televised match in a televised show. Oh, that sucks. Cutoff is part of the 7 stages of wrestling. Okay, we're not there. Maybe the Forbidden Door. Oh, like it oh, like it's like the door between the universes because they each have their own universe of like storylines. So it's like vaguely referencing the fact that like maybe that's what they're referencing. Oh. Like almost like breaking the fourth wall a little bit. I feel like that makes sense. Correct? Okay, cool. You got the time wrong? No worries. We've just been reading a dictionary, so we're only at D, you guys. This is definitely gonna have to be another stream. I don't know if it's gonna be a gorilla stream or what, but this is definitely gonna have to be another stream. Maybe I think on Thursday I'm doing a workout and then I never tweeted I was live. I never I forgot to hit tweet. I had the tweet up, but I forgot to hit tweet. Oops. Okay. What was I just doing? Forgot. Okay, anyways. Dark match, a non-televised match. A dark match before the show is often used to test new talent or warm up the crowd, or probably both. Dark match after the show typically features main event level wrestlers in order to sell more without affecting TV storylines. Some promotions may tape the dark matches, such as All Elite Rest AEW, which shows the dark matches on YouTube. Deathmatch wrestling? The bloodiest and most violent form of hardcore wrestling, popular in Japan, Mexico, and some parts of the United States. In deathmatch wrestling, many of the traditional rules of professional wrestling are not enforced, and usage of objects such as barbed wire, panes of glass, fluorescent light tubes, and weed whackers? Weed whackers? A weed whacker can kill you. Okay, I'm gonna expunge that from my brain. Dirt Sheet, an insider newsletter or website in the professional wrestling business, sometimes written in a negative tone or to mean to get dirt. Oh, I mean, that makes sense. That's just a gossip mag, but for the people, only the people in the know. Nothing. Yes, Lua, that's what death part means. God, okay. Double down. A point in the match in which both wrestlers are prone in the ring. Okay. Double shot, where a wrestler competes twice in one day. That sucks. Double team. I know the word. Double turn. The occurrence when both the face and the heel switch roles during an angle or match. Arguably the most famous example of that is Stone Cold Austin versus Bret Hart at WrestleMania 13, where Austin entered as... Wait. Sorry, that was random. Okay, anyways, back to... where Austin entered as a heel and Hart enters as a face, but due to Austin fighting on through blood and passing out into a move by Hart and Hart's post-match beatdown, the two switch roles but to the end of the match. We need to keep a counter of Bret Hart mentions, seriously. It's just nuts how many of these have VTuber equivalents. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. Sorry, I got spit all over the mic. The double turn is the most pop-off thing. Right? That's what I was like, whoa, just the thought of it is so exhilarating. Draw. Oh, okay. Oh, as in not a draw in the match, but is the person who draws the crowd. Someone fans are willing to pay to see, derived from the term drawing money, meaning the wrestler makes money for the... Okay. To lose a match or championship, the loser agreed to drop the match to the winner. Wait, what? This also doesn't make sense to me. Like, it's just it's used exactly like the word for lose, or like it's like I guess you're always purposely losing. But you know what I mean? Like this seems weird to me. Does it just mean lose? It just means lose like normally. More often means to drop the title. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Dusty finish. A finish in which the face appears to win a big match, but the decision is later reversed due to some sort of technicality, such as interference by their heels to save the heel champion, as in most federations, the title cannot change hands on such a disqualification. It can also refer to an ambiguous finish to a match where neither wrestler can claim to be the winner. The Dusty in the term refers to Dusty Rhodes, who booked many such finishes in the NWA and later in the WCW. Nerds gonna have jargon for everything? There's a lot of fluff here. Bret Hart did not want to drop the title to Shawn Michaels in 1997 because he would be losing in his home country. Okay. Well, I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I'm like extremely obsessed with subcultures and communities and fandoms that very specifically are either like established enough or like circular, what's the word, like separated enough that they have their own jargon. It's specifically a point that I draw a line between. Is like, oh, this is like an extremely interesting subculture that they have their own jargon, or like this might be interesting. Like if I know if a subculture has its own jargon, it's gonna be interesting every time. A lot of these words are very useful when talking about and organizing a match. I would imagine so. Wrestling is my true home. I'm not gonna, just because I'm learning about it doesn't mean I'm gonna like become the biggest wrestling fan in the world. Honestly, I don't think I could. Maybe I could become a Tokyo Joshi Pro fan simply because it doesn't happen that often. But I think there's just too much wrestling going on. Like there's too much for me to follow. Like it would have to be my only thing, which that would never happen. I cannot be in only one fandom. It's just not a thing. That's what you think now. Oh, I heard that Tokyo Joshi has a subscription service, or I think it's DDT in general has a subscription service. So maybe I'll subscribe to that. I don't know. There's way too much wrestling. You're burnt out on it. See, exactly. Or maybe like I would start going to like my local matches or something, and I would follow those. But I couldn't like be a general wrestling fan. I'm not a good commentator on anything. I could never be a commentator. Enforcer, also lackey or heavy. A typically larger, why is there like a 1 here, but it's like in the wrong spot? A typically larger wrestler who accompanies another wrestler as a second to matches and acts as his bodyguard. That's a funny concept to me. An individual who acts as a special guest referee capacity from outside the ring, ostensibly to maintain order. Oh, I can imagine this perfectly. This definition is really weird and vague, but I perfectly imagine what they're saying. It's like the wrestler comes out, he's like, I'm just here to make sure nothing goes wrong, and he's like standing outside the ring with his arms crossed, and they just cut to random shots of him looking like very pressed. Am I right? Am I correct? I'm gonna move on. Enhancement talent. See Jobber. Ooh. Do you know Jobber? Mike Tyson was an enforcer on AWE recently. I'm not wrong. Also known as what Stone Cold did for most of Summer Night. Yeah, does the enforcer sometimes cheat? Can the enforcer be used to cheat? Enforcers are usually used by heels. Their enforcement is usually... Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, a jobber is a term in the selling industry too. We'll get there. Enhancement talent. They mentioned that earlier, along with carpenter. Equalizer, an object used as a weapon, typically a steel chair. Yeah. The term is sometimes used for a guitar, as used by Jeff Garrett. Acoustic equalizer. Is that what he called it? Was that his own personal name for it? Was the acoustic equalizer? That's really funny. Exotico. A wrestler, typically a Mexican luchador, who competes in drag. Wait, what? Excuse me? I need pictures. This is Dustin Rhodes. What do you mean competes? Like, actually? What is it? What does that mean? As in their care... Wait. Okay. The reason I'm confused in this moment is because in my eyes, all of this is drag. So when they say a wrestler who competes in drag, I'm genuinely confused. Let's look up America's Gold Dust. What do you mean competes in drag? What literally, what does that mean? Literally, what does that mean? I guess there's a whole article. I guess we just go to the article. Oh. Oh. Yeah, I looked up Gold Dust and he just looks like a wrestler to me, so I was truly genuinely confused. But I see. This is like they put on like the like stereotypically like gay attributes and yeah, I get it. Saying that they compete in drag is so misleading and stupid. You need to see... yeah, it's clearly a performance thing, not a attire thing. Because when I hear drag, when I hear competes in drag, to me, I hear they are wearing women's clothing, which is clearly not what's happening. So it is a performance style. And if I'm probably correct in saying that these are usually heels, right? These are usually heels. I'm just making an assumption. I'm not saying that written and explicitly here. They're usually heels because homophobia. Yeah, okay, that's what I figured. Just checking. Exoticos use she, her pronouns when they perform? Huh. Interesting. So that's why they say they compete in drag. That's probably why. Very interesting. Very interesting. I mean, I don't know how many of you guys know this, but wrestling is really, nowadays, wrestling is really popular. Like, I mean, you probably know this. I'm not gonna say it. You guys know. You guys know. It's really popular among people that would actually compete in drag. Because it's just drag. All of this is drag, which is why it was so funny to me to see that written there. It just was really weird. Extreme wrestling, a style of professional wrestling that makes free use of high shots. We're only on E, you guys. It's been an hour and we're only on E. Okay. We'll find out what high shots is. And weapons. Extreme champion wrestling, combat zone wrestling are known for using this style. It's burlesque with violence. Yeah, it sure is. Sure is. I mean, it really is like drag. I mean, drag queens create a character and they create a storyline throughout their lip sync. And they go up there and they sing a song that they're not actually singing. I mean, if that's not just the same as wrestling, I don't know what else is. Oh, and they perform stunts that might hurt them sometimes. Have you guys ever... Let me show you guys something. I'm going to show you guys something. You've probably never seen this before. But I think I've shown this on stream once. This is the greatest entrance into a drag show ever of all time. Oh, I can't do that. I need to copy the link. I'm gonna mute it because it's the song I Need a Hero. It's like the intro to I Need a Hero. Bam! Tandy Iman Dupree. Literal legend for this. Her house actually still lives on. Oh my god, and another thing. Another thing about wrestling and drag being the same. Like I know that there's some amount of in wrestling, like, you know, a line or a family, quote unquote. In drag, there are like families where the drag queen will have children and will coach the children on how to be good drag queens and help them and stuff, and the name gets passed down. So Iman Dupree is still a surviving drag family name, and actually one of them competed on Drag Race recently. Candy Iman Dupree. Anyways, back to the work. Audio muted for copyright reasons. I know. Okay. I think that this whole stream will just be us going through terms, and then the next stream will be us actually looking at the videos that everyone linked, because yeah. High spots. Okay, skipping that. Face, we know face. Blue eye. Oh, in the UK they call them blue eye. In Mexico they call them técnico. What is that? Does that I'm sure that means something. I'm gonna Google translate it. Técnico. Google Translate. Spanish to English. Just means technical. Okay. Or like an expert. Interesting. A wrestler who's heroic, who's booked to be cheered by fans. Heels are the opposite of faces, and faces commonly performing as heels. You're learning about drag? Yes, you're learning about drag. I know a lot about me. Okay, I actually need to message Dakuma about this, but me and Dakuma are gonna do a drag race stream at some point. It's gonna happen. Oh yeah, it is exactly what it sounds like. Technical. Face in peril. Also playing Ricky Morton? What is playing Ricky Morton? A tag team match. The member of a face team who's dominated by the heel team for an extended period of the match. The tactic can be used to help get the crowd behind the face tag team and is usually followed up with a hot tag. What's a hot tag? During the 1980s, Ricky Morton of the Rock and Roll Express was typically in this position while teaming with Robert Gibson. So much so that playing Ricky Morton has become synonymous with the term. Gotcha. Faction. A group of several wrestlers who band together and protect each other during matches. Okay. Different from a stable in that stables have a leader or spokesperson. Oh, so that would be like Saki-sama would have a stable. Factions are also generally larger than stables. Gotcha. Fall. The ending of a match. A fall is obtained by gaining a decision in any manner. Normally okay, I get the idea, but normally consisting of a pinfall, submission, countout, or disqualification. In a 2 out of 3 falls match or Montevan's rules match, a wrestler must gain 2 decisions to win of only 1. I don't know what the point of that last note was. I was actually going to mention that the Exoticos are very similar to like the Disney villain flamboyantness. This match is scheduled for 1 fall, 1 fall. Seems strange that wrestling used to be so homophobic with terms like hot tag and forbidden door being thrown around so much. Oh. I see what you mean. Okay, Fallout show. The first televised show after a pay-per-view match. Often new storylines are introduced in these episodes, and the consequences of the pay-per-view match are explained. Contrast with Go Home show. Interesting. Okay, so it's like the fallout of the match. False comeback. Also, I don't think we'll try to get halfway through these, and then maybe I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm very tempted to just not do piano tomorrow and do this instead. I'm tempted to for this to just be wrestling week. No, Lua, you said no skipping piano. See, that's the problem. That is certainly the problem here. Also, the music has still been paused this whole time. It's way too loud. Hyperfixation time? Oh, we're already deep in it. You don't need to worry about that. I'm fully hyperfixating. Live. Contrast with Utawaku karaoke stream. Lua can wrestle while playing piano, I assume. Okay. If everyone's saying don't skip piano, then I won't skip piano. We'll do it on Thursday night then. No, what was my stream play for Thursday? Maybe we'll just replace it. Oh no, that's right. Thursday was just the work. Oh, that's right. Friday is the sewing stream, which I have to do. Yeah. Are there any iconic wrestling songs? Of course there is. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. I can't do a double feature. I don't have it in me. I can't stream for that long. I get really tired really easily. They for some reason that I really don't understand, they have the Jeopardy theme on the piano learning app that I use. So maybe they have some good wrestling songs. Good question. I don't know if there are. There probably are, honestly. I would imagine that there are. Okay, let's get to at least halfway through this. How many letters are in the alphabet and how far are we right now? A, B, C, D, E, F. Oh god, we still have quite a few more to go. F, G, H, I, J, K, L. We need to get to L. That makes sense. I knew that L was in the middle for some reason. No, K is in the middle. K is in the middle. Okay. But maybe we'll be able to skip some of these. I don't know. Is there Kaze ni Nare? No. There's no Japanese songs whatsoever. Unfortunately. Okay. False comeback. Also hope spot. A brief offensive flurry by a face before losing momentum back to a heel after being dominated for several minutes. Usually it occurs before the actual comeback. Oh, that's cool. God, I can't believe every single beat of a match has a word for it. It's really cool. M is in the middle? No, it's not. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M. You're right. Why do you think the K was after L? I don't know why I thought K was after L. That's the 7 stages of a match? Okay, so it's part of the 7 stages. False finish, a pinfall attempt which is kicked out of, usually after a finisher or series of high impact moves. Sorry, in the middle of that, the beginning of that sentence just totally phased out of my brain and stopped reading. Learning wrestling and the alphabet. I'm gonna be very honest with you guys. I don't know the alphabet off the top of my head. Like, I have to go through the whole thing every single time. Hi, welcome. Thanks. Yes, Fleshy's. I like the way Fleshy's model turned out. I'm proud of my cute cat daughter. Welcome to our stream where we're learning about professional wrestling. Okay. False finish, a pinfall attempt. Oh, it's like the hero's journey. That makes sense. A pinfall attempt which is kicked out of, usually after a finisher or a series. Okay, I mean, yeah. When they say kicked out of, do they mean literally kick, or they just mean they got out of it? And usually kicked out of just before the referee counts to 3. This builds crowd anticipation toward the actual finish. Fleshy is a very good egg, by the way. Fleshy's only fall is that she is too kind and too humble. Truly. Fleshy is an extremely good egg. What a pleasure to work with. Follow her if you're. By the way, if you follow me and you don't follow Fleshy, go follow Fleshy. Her streams are fun. They're very comfy. They're very comfy streams, and she plays a lot more video games than me. That's for sure. One second. Okay. Fleshy's only flaws that she's too kind and too humble, which I am more than willing to compensate for. Not. That does sound like something I would say. Refs count to 3. The person being pinned kicks their legs out to get their shoulders off the mat, thus kicking out of the pin. Oh, okay. So it is literally kicking. Both shoulders on the mat is what constitutes getting pinned. Okay, is literally kicking. Oh, uh-oh. My phone's running out of battery. Okay. False. We already did that. Feud. A stage rivalry between multiple wrestlers or groups of wrestlers. They are integrated into ongoing storylines, particularly events that are televised. Feuds may last for months and years or be resolved with implausible speed, perhaps during the course of a single match. I love the way they phrased that. Like you're kicking the air with both legs for momentum. Yeah, I gotcha. Like if you were like if you were laying on your back and you tried to like kick to stand up, like that, I imagine. Fighting champion. Champion who defends their title often and with most of or all of the outcomes being victory by pinfall or submission. That's cool. Finish, the planned end of a match. Okay. Finisher, the signature moves that leads to the pinfall or submission. 5 move.
5 moves of doom.
A particular combination of moves that in a certain wrestler tends to use in every match, often in the same sequence, usually ending with their finisher. This term is usually used pejoratively, though it is not originally intended to be so, by Dave Meltzer, who coined the term in the 1990s to describe the finishing sequence by Bret Hart, and later used to describe that of John Cena. Da, 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 da. We need to have a John Cena clip, don't we? I don't want to get DMCA though. Oh, ow, what just happened? Ow! What just happened in my body? Ow! Ah, what the hell? I like grabbed at my throat because I accidentally swallowed wrong, and then I grabbed too hard. I grabbed too hard. I like grabbed my actual like throat, like the tube of air in my throat. John Cena was hated by smarks over his samey matches. What is a smark? Just gonna Google it. Smark. Oh, so it's the opposite of a mark. My throat is actually kind of in pain now. Oh no. I need some water. Why are the barks? I think it literally is called Chiptune Ball Game. I can't find it anymore. Actually, I'll just go backwards. Take Me Out to the Chiptune is what it's called. Where does Lua get this music from? Well, I get it from Slip.Stream, which you can use code LUA01 to get 10% off your, I think it's actually 30% off your first purchase. It's not like I have a sponsorship with them, but it's just one of those things where if you sign up for the service, they give you a promo code. And I actually really like it. I used to use this this service called Epidemic Sound, but all of the music on there was really bad. All of the music on this site is awesome, and the way they organize them is specifically for streamers and YouTube content creators, so it's a lot easier to find good music if you're a streamer. Use code LUA01 to get 20% off your first month of Slip.Stream, and I think I get a free month free if you do that. Not sure. Why no audio stock? Because I like the music on this one better. I think audio stock's also more expensive. I'm not sure. This is the one that I use is $13 a month. Actually, how much is audio stock? Now you guys have triggered my well, audio stock is apparently Japanese specifically. That's probably why they used it. How much does it cost? If I wanted to use it right, oh my god. Apparently it's $10 a month. That's not that bad, actually. Maybe. X-rated contents. It has like a... We do not have X-rated contents on the website. It's so funny. Okay, sorry. Back to the issue at hand. Forbidden Door. Oh, they actually do describe it. The imagined barrier between competing wrestling promotions. Okay, understood. Foreign object. This is funny to me only because the only other time I hear the word foreign object, it is because the golden retrievers that I follow on social media, one of them has eaten something that they shouldn't have eaten, and then what happens, which happens frequently, and then they post the x-ray on their Twitter, and they're like, guess what the foreign object is? Okay. This is referred to as international objects by commentators due to misunderstanding. Okay. Freebird rule, a quote-unquote rule that allows a 3-wrestler stable to challenge for and defend a tag team championship with any 2 of its members. Named for the fabulous Freebirds who popularized this concept. Okay, that's really specific. Future endeavored, fired, or leaving a promotion. Inspired by WWE's announcement of a wrestler's release, typically wishing the subject all of the best in their future endeavors. I mean, that's any industry, right? Literally anyone leaving any company. Steroids. Gas is steroids. Stamina or is an out of gas. Okay, it's both. Gassed is exhausted. Gig is, we talked about that. Gimmick is the persona, the character portrayed by the wrestler. We understand that from living in the English-speaking world. Can be used to refer specifically to the motif or theme evoked by a character. Yeah. Glorified jobber. We still haven't gotten to jobber. Let's skip ahead to jobber. A jobber is a wrestler who routinely loses in order to build the credibility of... Oh, that sucks. That sucks. And then I was going to tell you about what jobber means in the fashion industry. In the fashion industry, a jobber is a fabric salesperson who takes the extra or excess fabric from factories and sells them at like highly discounted rates. It's by far the best way to buy fabric for really any purpose. But they're pretty rare unless you live in a big city near a lot of fashion industrial complexes. I don't know how to say that. Jobber is pretty common in fiction too. What does it mean in fiction? A jobber refers to someone just doing their job. Gotcha. Makes sense. Oh, just like as a word. Is mankind a jobber? Folks like Worf or Vegeta are perfect. Oh, I see. You mean the concept is common in fiction, not the word. Jobbers sometimes make it to the top. Krillin is a jobber. Absolutely. Definition. Glorified jobber. A jobber who defeats pure jobbers. What? As well as mid-card wrestlers in matches, but consistently... Oh. Okay. Understood. That's funny. Go away heat. When a wrestler, heel or face, evokes a negative reaction, not through their working of the audience, but because the audience are not entertained by the wrestler and do not want to watch them perform. That's a bummer. Go home to finish a match. One wrestler would tell the other to go home when it is time for them to execute the planned ending of further match. Oh, interesting. Referees may also tell the wrestler to go home, usually after receiving word to do so from a producer backstage. Interesting. That's really interesting. Did you guys know that if you ever hear the Pledge of Allegiance played at a circus, that means there's a fire? I believe that's correct. Or was it a ship? Oh, maybe it was a ship. Was it the circus? I can't remember. I can't remember whether it was ships or the circus, and now I'm really upset. I learned this on Good Job Brain. For context. Okay. Oh well. Go Home Show, the final televised show before a pay-per-view event. So named because the promotion will often have no house shows. In the next few days before the pay-per-view, in order to give the wrestlers a chance to literally go home and rest up, so they may bring their A game at the pay-per-view. Contrast to the Fallout show. A live event. Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm catching up with chat. You think it's a circus? Yeah, I think it's a circus too. Oh, they usually tell them to go home if there's a okay, gotcha. If they're hitting the time, that makes sense. Going into business for him or herself. When a wrestler starts working on their own for their own benefit rather than mutual benefit of themselves and their opponents, typically by refusing to sell a type of shoot. Oh my god. Sell to react to something in a way. Oh yeah. Oh my god. Right, and shoot is, yeah, when planning a match you typically usually get a time of like 5 minutes, 12 to 15 minutes depending on where you are in the card. I have a question. So if you're a C level match, I don't think that's right. Low card? Low card? Is it mid card, high card, and low card? I don't actually know. We haven't gotten to the high or low cards. And there's mid card. Point is, if you're a low card, I want to know the time lengths of a match between a low, mid, and high card. C level is low card. Okay, cool. So I want to know how long those matches are. Please tell me. High card is top of the card in the draw of the show. How long are these matches expected to be? Sorry, I paused. Okay, my brain stalled. Gold, the championship belt. Good hand, a decent 5 minutes is low card, usually including the entrance? That sucks. That's quick. I think the song you're thinking of, Stars and Stripes. You are totally right, it is Stars and Stripes. I always forget that those two different songs, to be honest with you. High card is like 60 minutes? Okay, 15 to 30 seems a little bit more correct. You go until one of you dies. It's like 60 minutes. You can have a great match in 5, that's fair. But like 5 including the entrance? You've seen a match that lasted less than 10 seconds? That sucks. That sucks. Okay. Good hand. A decent, skilled, dependable performer that gels with the wrestlers he works with and consistently puts on a good show. Go over to win in a wrestling match. Oh, 60 minutes are like really old. Okay, gotcha. You don't do as flashy entrances, fair. You probably just walk out. You just get in the ring. Yeah. Gorilla position. The standing stage just behind the curtain where wrestlers come out to the ring. Named after Gorilla Monsoon. Is this actually something people say? The gorilla position in WCW is named after Jody Hamilton and his commonly referred to as Jody position. In AEW, the Go position is named the Dusty... Oh, so they're named different things depending on which league you're in? Or promotion you're in? Jeez. Gorilla is still used a lot. Cool. Green refers... Okay, that's just the word green used in English. Gusher, we're not gonna read that. Hard camera. The main cameras that shoot the ring from the crowd. These are positioned in the first level of permanent seats, usually at about the... Huh. It's so interesting to me that there are extremely specific places where even the cameras are placed. Hard camera is so important. Let me reread it then. The main cameras that shoot the ring from the crowd. These are positioned in the first level of permanent seats, usually at about the center, court center, ice area. What does that mean? The center court / center ice. Oh, as in like if you're at an ice rink? You always have to sell to the hard camera. Oh, as a referee, I have to not stand in front of it and cover up the wrestlers. Oh, interesting. God, this is so interesting. This is so interesting. I always thought gorilla position was referring to how it's being done with a primate. So a wrestler and the ref are always aware of it. That is so interesting. Because for TV we need to... But there's a ton of cameras. See, okay, the reason I'm a little bit confused is because there's a ton of cameras, right? So, like... That's why I'm confused. Isn't there like a ton of cameras? Or is there more than one hard camera and that's what you're cutting to? Cutting between. That doesn't sound right. There's probably only one hard camera, right? We're gonna talk about cameras now. There's usually a broadcast side, like NBA or NHL. Most of the arena's cameras are focused to one side. Oh. Oh. Some wrestling shows are hard cam only. Oh, sounds like it's a crowd's eye. Yeah, it does sound like it's a crowd's eye view. Hard cam plus one floor cam. Oh. First of all, I had no idea they were focused to one side. That's pretty interesting. That makes sense, though. It makes a lot of sense, though, because, I mean, if the wrestlers are aware of it, then it's basically almost like a stage, right? So you're performing to one side of the stage. That makes sense. What's a floor cam? They didn't go over that. What does that mean? Is it just like right next to the ring? At floor height? I want to know what a floor cam is now. Also, my headband isn't lighting up properly. Floor cam is the guy on the outside of the ring walking around with the camera. So that's what I said. Cool. 1 second. Between the barricade and the ring. So it sounds like most shows are just cutting between two cameras. One that's the person who's sitting, the stand-in for the person who's sitting in the audience, and then the guy who's right up in the action, basically. Is that right? That's so much more simple than I thought it would have been. But I guess now that I think about it, all the iconic wrestling things that I think about are basically those two angles. They cut to it for close-ups and when the hard cam is blocked. Makes sense. Huh. That is so much more simple than I would have imagined. Does like WC or like is that still done for like WWE and stuff? I feel like WWE would have like really complex camera setups. No? WWE will have two floor cams. Hiccups. Depends on the size of the show and promotion. A lot of house shows have... I mean, that I understand. But I'm just talking about at the very highest level. Like, they probably do like crazy. They do like everything you'd think. Like, have like 10 cameras, right? I'd imagine. I just want to know. Maybe they... it'd be interesting to me if they don't, is my point. Okay. Hardcore wrestling. We already saw that. Hard way. A wrestler... okay, drawing blood by other means other than... oh, God. Oh, what? Potato? Ugh. WWE has a load of trucks with all the equipment. The less equipment, the less money. Oh, so they don't have that many cameras? Lucha Underground has bonkers camera work? Makes sense that they wouldn't want complex camera setting if it's live acting and they always got to know where to direct the show. I mean, I guess so, but... you know, like, sports? Like... soccer and football and all that kind of stuff, that's a live sport and they can do all kinds of stuff with the cameras. Okay, head drop. A move, I mean that makes sense. A move which as a result of a botch or otherwise causes the receiver to be dropped on their head, often resulting in a legit concussion or injury such as a broken neck. Also, especially in puroresu, the term can refer to a bump which is intended to make the move appear as if the receiver landed on their head. In reality, the full force of the move is intended to be taken off the upper back and shoulders, though such moves still carry a high degree of legitimate risk with them. Some wrestlers have used moves where the receiver lands on their heads as their finisher, including Kenta Kobayashi, who used the highly dangerous Burning Hammer as his finisher move. A good camera director makes it look seamless. Oh. Haas on this list is important. Okay. Sorry, I just saw Haas Fest. Big E recently broke his neck. Oh, but he's okay. That's good. That sucks. I mean, God, that sucks. That's very unfortunate. Heat. Negative reactions such as booing from the fans. When the heat is directed at a heel, this is seen as a good thing. It means fans are reacting in the desired way. Real life tension or bad feeling between two wrestlers, a wrestler in the promotion. Burning Hammer is one of the legendary wrestling move finisher because it has never been kicked out of, at least when Kobayashi does. I keep saying Kobayashi. Kobashi does it. Heater, a wrestler, usually a jobber, who is used against a more valued opponent to heat them up, perhaps as after a recent loss or succession. So this is used in the anime a lot. This is you may have defeated me, but I am just one of a group of 6. I am in we are an evil league of 6. Okay. Heel. We know this. Rudo. Does this just mean rude? I'm gonna be played. This is just gonna be rude. It means rude. Okay. A wrestler who is villainous, who is booked to be booed by fans. Faces who are opposite of heels, and heels are commonly performed against faces. Hide. To choreograph a match to cover up a wrestler's injury, inexperience, or lack of ability. Interesting. Heaters are used to pad someone's win-loss record. Heat is also part of the 7 stages, meaning this means the segment when the heel is beating up the face. Oh, so it has... Oh, okay. Okay. So it also means that. Okay. In luchador wrestling, you have... I should say it properly. In luchador wrestling, you have technicians and rude people. Yeah, it is kind of interesting that those are the 2 names. High spot. Okay, this is one of the ones I saw earlier and didn't understand. A high stakes move which is perceived to be risky and very dangerous, often legitimately. Oh, interesting. Hollywood, a popular heel face persona based on the idea of a performer having real world success and fame which transcends the wrestling business. Okay. Would you say that someone is a Hollywood, or would you say that someone is Hollywood? Ask who's taking the heat. Makes sense. From the top rope! Oh, no, not for the top rope! Not the top rope! No, not the top rope! Not the top rope! Is Hollywood. Gotcha. Okay. Hooker. Okay, let's go. A wrestler with strong, legitimate mat wrestling abilities and an array of match-ending, or in extreme cases, career-ending holds known as hooks, hence the name. A primary holdover from the days of professional wrestling had to maintain kayfabe. A hooker sorry. A hooker would be I'm having such a hard time with this. Oh no, is this for the high spot? He gave himself a concussion? Oh no. That's insane how high up he is. Okay. He got a concussion and he's still kicked out. Do you guys know I got a concussion once in the middle of a tennis match, and I continued to play. Did I not only continue to play tennis, but in the half match break, I stopped to sign up for college classes. Don't you lie to me. Fart jokes are funny, and a homophone to a funny word is also funny. A hooker, I don't know why this is so hard for me. A hooker would be used against a local non-wrestler baller to enhance the belief that the professional wrestler was real. I already forgot the meaning of this word. Oh, okay. Additionally, the champion would most often be a hooker in order to avoid his opponents trying to shoot on him. One of the most famous hookers in wrestling history was world champion Lou Thez. Definitely not pronouncing that right. I know it's stupid of me to be laughing about this, but just saying the whole sentence is so hard. Quit being so homophonic. I messed up the pun. You get it. You get the idea. Okay. Haas. I was noted that this one is important. A Haas is a wrestler who is physically large, but lacks other skills. Question. Is Andre the Giant a Haas? Back to definition. A match between two large men who use plenty of stiff strikes is sometimes known as a Haas fest, which is so funny to me. A stiff is using excessive force when executing a move deliberately or by accidentally, thus causing the that sucks. Andre was good, so he's not a Haas. I wonder if Ina ever tries to make a pun but accidentally says the normal thing and then just carries on. Great Khali would be a Haas, I think. According to this, a Haas can't be very good. It says they lack other skills. But it's also Wikipedia, so. Hotshot, a rushed feud, climax of a feud, or a big match on television instead of a pay-per-view event. I keep wanting to say pay-per-view event. In order to get a short-term boost for business. Also applies to angles or turns that are done for shock value rather than acting as part of an ongoing storyline. You rarely see people use the term Haas pejoratively nowadays. Interesting. It just isn't used much. Okay, interesting. Interesting. This is why you guys are here. Hot tag. In a tag team match, the face is tagged to a fresh partner after several minutes of being dominated by both heels, usually immediately followed by the freshly tagged partner getting in a quick burst of offense. Often, the hot tag happens after several teases, where the other face is enticed into the ring, only to be stopped by the referee and the heels getting away with illegal tactics, or a legal tag being made while the referee is distracted, resulting in the referee forcing the fresh partner out of the ring because he was not tagged in. Jordan Grace calls herself a Hosset. House, the amount of money drawn, yep, just like a casino. House show, an untelevised event. Hulking up, a type of comeback spot that involves the face suddenly start to no-sell their opponent's offense. Interesting, yes. This is like going Super Saiyan and like, oh, your punches don't do anything to me. Recovering more strikes with every blow before finally striking back. Named after Hulk Hogan, who regularly used this. This seems a little cheap to me, but. Idol wrestler, a Japanese term for Joshi wrestlers who are known for their attractive appearance and may be involved in the Japanese idol industry. I'll be honest with you guys. I thought that Maki Ito's shtick was unique until a week ago. And then I found out that there are many idol wrestlers. It's a hugely common thing. Look up Riho. If you like Maki Ito, you'll love Riho. I'm sure I will. I'll get there. I'll get her. Oh, she's listed here. I hate whatever she's wearing. Can't say I love what she's wearing. She's so young. She was trained by Emmy Soccer. She joined AEW. It is so crazy to me that there seems to be... How common is it for literal children to join pro wrestling? I've never seen it in my life, but I've read about it several times in the last week, and it makes me so concerned. Is it it feels like I read about it more in Japanese wrestling. Is that true? Maybe it's just not. Reika Saiki is one of your favorite idol wrestlers. It's very common. You saw a 14-year-old just this weekend? It's more common, but especially in Japan. Okay. Your trainer started young, just as young? It's so concerning to me. It's so unbelievably concerning to me. DDT has a whole program to teach wrestlers. Oh, children wrestlers. Okay. Impromptu Match. A match that takes place specifically on pay-per-views that was not announced on the card before the event. Okay. Independent promotion. A smaller wrestling company that operates at a local rather than national level and typically employs freelance wrestlers as opposed to signing wrestlers. Yeah. Interbrand, a term used by WWE during their brand extension to refer to a match between talent from the Raw, SmackDown. Okay. Oh, it didn't occur to me that these aren't different promotions. Then what are these? Like, what does that mean? Is it a brand? Is it like a different... Oh, they are different promotions. No. WWE is the promotion. Oh, I mean, so they're like series. It sounds like they're like series. But I get that they're brands, but I'm wondering what they act like practically are. If that makes sense. Yeah, let's look up Riho in some better outfits. I mean, yeah. Her regular outfit is certainly better, but not that great. Yeah, that big baggy white one is just awful. Just awful. They're different conferences in the same league, basically. They have their own rosters and storylines that don't intermingle except for crossovers. Gotcha. Interpromotional, also known as cross-promotional. Okay, interference. The act of someone who is not part of the match getting involved. This may involve distracting or assaulting one or more of the participants in the match. Invasion storyline. A storyline in which a group of wrestlers from one promotion appear in another promotion. In some cases, this happens suddenly without advance warning or notice and usually involves invaders attempting to take the promotion over. Okay, cute. Internet wrestling community. The IWC. The community of internet users, some of them smarks on social media, who discuss professional wrestling online. You guys, we're all part of the IWC. Jerk the curtain. Oh, this was referenced earlier too, and I didn't understand it. To wrestle the first match of the card. The first of the curtain separating the entranceway from backstage. A wrestler commonly booked in this position is a curtain jerker. In recent years, this term has become much less pejorative, with many main event level wrestlers choosing to have the first match of the show as a way to set the tone. Interesting. That's nice. Job to lose in a wrestling match. Jobber. 2 routines loses. Joshi is a woman. Juices, steroids, or blood, specifically from the forehead. Interesting. Kayfabe, we understand. Kick out. To use the legs to kick or power out of a pin. We had talked about that. King's Road. This term describes the style of wrestling All Japan Pro Wrestling uses. It is a fusion of the Japanese strong style and a more American style of professional wrestling. King's Road practitioners incorporated increasingly more stiff strikes and head drops during the 1990s. Interesting. Unfortunately, we're the IWC. Yeah. Could be said of any internet community, honestly. Unfortunately. Unfortunately, I am a K-poppy. Speaking of which, I still haven't done today's K-pop hurdle, which is like Wordle, except it's K-pop songs. The very first time I did it was one of my favorite songs, and now I'm hooked. Sorry, I just saw that. Okay. Legit refers to real-life incidents or events that have not been booked or scripted and are therefore not part of the fictional or kayfabe presentation. It is often used to describe a genuine injury to a wrestler, as opposed to one scripted as part of the story. People get injured. Well, I guess, yeah. Used to describe a wrestler who has a genuine background in another combat sport, typically boxing, other wrestling codes, or mixed martial arts, and has proven quote-unquote real fighting skills. Lemon. A wrestler who is not over with an audience and is perceived as a failure. Oh, that's so sad. Is this like a failure in your role, or like a failure is part of the kayfabe? Lights out. A spot in which the house lights are spot. He broke his ankle for exactly 60 days when he was actually suspended. Lemon is like a lemon car. I mean, I get that part. Interesting. Lights out. Lights out. It's a line from Bakudo. Lesbian pollen. When a female wrestler is lesbian in kayfabe to play mind games on her opponent. Examples of this are Dawn Marie / Tori Wilson storyline and Trish Stratus Mickey James storyline. The term originated from OSW Review. Weird. Spots are pieces of a match, right? I want to know if they're a failure, as they failed, like they're supposed to be a face and everyone hates them, or like they just, well, I guess they don't get over. So yeah, it's their role. It's when they don't perform their role properly, right? And the audience hates them. Buzz. The pollen part is really weird. If they're not over, that means they're failing at the role. Gotcha. Right. I need to remember that. That one seems really important. Local competitor, an unsigned wrestler that is typically put into squash matches with company wrestlers to build the other's momentum. Often used so known wrestlers from the promotion do not have the job. OSW also coined Brett's rope. Lockup. No. Local medical facility. WWE's term for hospital used in kayfabe scenarios when a wrestler is injured, and it was coined to prevent fans from calling an actual hospital during the time in which kayfabe was not yet broken. Oh my god. A portion of a match. The lockup is a portion of the match, usually the very start of the match, where two wrestlers join together in a collar and elbow tie-up. That's so specific. That always happens? Question mark? Low Carter. Ah, here it is. A wrestler who typically wrestles near the beginning of the show. Okay, lumberjack or lumberjill. A wrestler typically who stands close to the ring, usually in a lumberjack match, in which he or she and others similarly called upon are forcibly returned to the ring. Any wrestler who oh. This reminds me of how I was reading about, I watched a video about one of the Tokyo Joshi wrestlers. No, it was Maki Ito. Maki Ito started as part of, I don't think it was DDT. I don't remember which promotion it was, but it was some promotion where they do this type of match where they just get a bunch of idols to like, anytime someone comes out of the ring, they just start hitting them with like rubber mallets. Lumberjacks make sure no one can run away like a coward. Right. Lucha Libre. Mexican professional wrestling translates to free fight and is sometimes shortened to simply lucha. The Mexican... Do you guys ever watch the cartoon? What was it called? It wasn't just called Lucha Libre. Mucha Lucha. Did you guys ever watch Mucha Lucha? I watched a lot when I was a kid. Cute. Right. Lucha Resu, which is I'm sure Japanese. The specific style of professional wrestling that could invoke the high-flying acrobatics of Lucha Libre and the suplexes, strong martial arts strikes, physicality, and psychology of Puro Resu, or strong style wrestling. All you remember is that the main character turned into a pinball. He certainly did, didn't he? Fun fact about Lucha Libre, they have stiffer rings, so they roll more than when they bump. And they lock up backwards from American wrestling. Interesting. I just remember that one that was like a Pokemon. It was a little P1. What did he say? What would he say? Did he just say his name? Snoopy. Oh my god, I remembered it. Oh, that was deep in my brain wrinkle somewhere. Snoopy. You guys remember that? Snoopy. He was like a little Pokemon. He was literally like a snow pea. He would just say, Snoopy. Wow, that was deep in a brain wrinkle. Okay, M. Which is apparently the middle of the alphabet. Main event. The headline or marquee match of the show. Duh. Main eventer. A wrestler who is either the current or former world champion and seen as on the highest level in a promotional... Oh, that's right, the Flea. Forgot about him. Typically headlines shows often wrestling for the world title or promotion. Manager, performer who is paired with one or more wrestling. This is interesting to me. This is a really specific... Because I would think that a manager was basically the same as an agent, but clearly that's not the case. A performer, usually a non-wrestler who is paired with one or more wrestlers in order to help them get over. Often by acting as a mouthpiece or interfering in matches on their behalf. Typically, managers are seen accompanying their Okay. Gotcha. It's a kayfabe agent. Understood. Understood. Yeah. I have a very specific video clip in my brain that I don't even know where it's from, but it's of a... I mean, it's basically this. This is hilarious. Where'd they find this guy? Please, this black guy's pretty bad. Okay, we got to Mark. A wrestling fan. Okay, we already read this, but we'll read it just for the sake of it. A wrestling fan who enthusiastically believes or behaves as though they believe. Oh boy. Professional wrestling is not staged, or loses sight of the staged nature of the business while supporting their favorite wrestlers. The term is often used pejoratively. Sorry, really bad hiccups. For example, to refer to people who have little or no knowledge about the backstage, the industry as a whole. However, it is also used as someone in the business to refer to all wrestling fans. I already read the other one. Married, to be paired with another wrestler or tag team in a long series of matches. Marty Jannetty, or simply Jannetty, a derisive term given to a member of a tag team who, upon the breakup of the team, achieves markedly less... Oh, this is a bummer. Can you imagine being Marty Jannetty? That's a bummer. That's who teamed up with Shawn Michaels to form the Rockers, while Michaels went on to become a 4-time world champion and 2-time WWE Hall of Famer. Jannetty was released from the WWF 2 weeks after the team's breakup and would repeatedly be hired and fired from the promotion and other promotions over the next 20 years, almost always participating in storylines which related his status as Michaels' former partner. Other wrestlers often seen as a Jannetty of a team include Rick Steiner of the... This is so sad. He didn't do himself any favors? I'm sure not. I'm sure there's a reason he kept getting fired. Mechanic. Oh, sorry. I would honestly keep going. I would honestly do this whole thing in one stream, but my throat is really starting to give out on me. I'll take some water. It definitely has to do with the way that I sit. Because I can talk this much for a long time, but I'm definitely sitting in a way that's putting stress on my vocal cords. So I need to figure out how to fix that. Okay. Maybe I can keep going. Maybe I'll try to do N. A mechanic. A wrestler whose job it is to feud with the future main event performers and help get them ready for the position. Other times, mechanics are the in-ring teachers helping younger wrestlers gain experience and ability. Mid-carders. Mid-carder. Missed spot. A move or series of moves which are mistimed. Oh, as in they didn't... Oops. Blown spot. You've never heard mechanic? That's fair. Money mark. Someone who founds. Okay, I get it. So someone who founds or invests in a wrestling promotion mainly to associate with wrestlers, often willingly or ignorantly disregarding financial risks as a... Boy, it's relatable. Rick was arguably the more popular of the signers until Big Papa Pump happened. Jim had the unfortunate privilege of being opposite Bret Hart, and well, Stevie we won't talk about. LMAO, Money Mark, didn't get paid for a pair of shows because they didn't sell enough tickets, and they ran out of money paying for the top carders and didn't have any for me. Got too many expensive big names. Money match. Highly promoted non-title match at the end at or near the end of a card, which is the main selling point of the event. Monster. Extremely powerful, seemingly unbeatable wrestler who's either a face or a heel, who often wins a match in quick, one-sided manner. Makes sense. I think that we would use Monster the same way. Money mark is someone doing it for the love of the game. That's fair, I think. Mouthpiece. A manager who does the promos or all the talking. Oh! For a wrestler possessing poor oration skills. Oh. Muta scale. An informal measure against some fans of the amount of blood lost. Oh, that's a bummer. I don't want to look up how much blood Muta lost. Okay, near fall, an occurrence in which a wrestler's shoulders are pinned to the mat for a count of 2, but the wrestler manages to escape before the... Yeah, okay. 2.5 count or other factions just didn't note. Night off. To be paired for a match with a wrestler who is typically easy to work with. That's nice. No contest. I mean, I'm assuming this is a compliment. No contest. A match that ends in a draw without any clear resolution. Oh, interesting. No contest. I used to play a lot of Melee. This is often due to unforeseen circumstances such as an injury, a major spot, or angle which overshadows proceedings, or the referee being presented as having lost control of the match. No sell. To show no reaction to opponent's offensive moves, a way to demonstrate endurance, appear invulnerable to pain, illustrate masochistic tendencies, or intentionally bury an opponent. Generally, no selling is worked as a part of kayfabe, but several wrestlers are known to have no-sold their opponents. See, I'm glad that we're reading through this, because if I had to read this sentence a couple hours ago, it would have been impossible. I was thinking of the Melee voiceover too. I think it is. Some wrestlers work very safe and have few moves that require bumps, which is always nice. That's good. Generally, no selling is worked as part of kayfabe, but several wrestlers are known to have no-sold their opponent's moves for various reasons. Compare sell over no sell. No show. I hate this song. It's called Nintendo Power. No show. A wrestler or performer's unplanned absence from a show in which they're booked, often leading to last-minute changes of the show. I mean, so that's just the English word. Nuclear heat. A high amount of heat when fans are agitated to the point of being legitimately angry or upset. Over. Okay. Achieving the desired crowd reaction with the audience buying into a performer or gimmick. Faces who are over will be cheered, and heels who are over will be booed. Sometimes particular aspects of a performer's presentation may be over, such as a specific chant, a move they perform, or their ring in entrance, without the performer themselves being considered over. Building a rapport with the audience is described as getting over. Okay. Oversell, to show too much of a reaction from our opponent's offense. An example occurred in the match between Hulk Hogan and Shawn Michaels at SummerSlam 2005, where Michaels frequently oversold Hogan's moves. Compare sell and no sell. Paper, to give up free tickets to an event to make it look better attended than it otherwise would have been. Okay. Parts unknown. Okay, I understand this. Payoff, the culmination of an angle or storyline with the intention of providing gratification to the fans, typically involves a face finally overcoming a dominant heel. That's cool. The Ultimate Warrior was popularly billed as being from Parts Unknown. Philly Pop, the act of a promotion bringing in a former Extreme Championship Wrestling. This is that's so specific. There's no way. Okay. Pillmanize. What? Is that a word? Is that a word people use? The act of breaking an opponent's, quote-unquote breaking, an opponent's ankle, arm, or neck by placing it in between the seats or headrest of a... Okay. Oh my god. Wait. The headrest of a steel chair and then stepping or jumping on the chair? Oh. I'm glad that they specifically referenced in kayfabe. Brian Pillman, who suffered a severe ankle injury in kayfabe when attacked in this manner by Stone Cold Steve Austin. Pinfall, holding a wrestler's shoulders to the mat for a count of 3 to win a fall. The folding guillotine. Poaching, the act of luring away key talent. Yeah, I mean, that's just a word everywhere. Policeman or policewoman. Also house shooter. House shooter. I was reading this to make sure it was something that we hadn't read before, and it certainly isn't. A wrestler, often a respected or feared shooter or street fighter. Responsible for enforcing the promoter's will against... I've never seen this word in my life. Recalcitrant? Recalcitrant? Wrestlers by performing unscripted or painful moves within a match, punishing or intimidating them for defying the management. In today's industry, it is largely outdated because such tactics are illegal, if they can be proven. Typically, it is only used by dirt sheets. It says that we've already... I don't remember reading dirt sheets. Oh, okay. It is typically only still used by dirt sheets and outside commentators who believe one wrestler is deliberately placed in matches against more dangerous opponents and injures. Oh, okay. I see. They just... The dirt sheets say it to... While allegations of this sort persist, including being made by wrestlers themselves, few have been proven. Also describes a wrestler who keeps order in the locker room by threats of physical force. Wow. Pop. A cheer or positive reaction from the crowd. Popcorn match. Originally described as a post-intermission match viewed as not important enough to keep the fans from trips to the concession stand, now describes a more lighthearted match designed to provide relief of dramatic tension. Potato. A strike to the head which makes real contact. That's right, you read about this earlier. A wrestler who endures one or more of these potatoes is likely to potato the perpetrator back, which is known as a receipt. I love that. Potato sacking. House shooter is new to me. People would just work with them if that... People just would work with them if that happened. A wrestler will make themselves dead weight to prevent their opponent from lifting them up for a move. Though usually planned in a match, it can also be deliberately done by a wrestler who doesn't want to be lifted for a move. Ooh, sorry, which can make the move harder to probably execute it and cause the higher risk of injury to either one of the wrestlers. Oh, that's bad. Powdering, the act of forcibly exiting the ring. Okay, we don't have that much left. Wrestling. We missed a couple of these. Pipe bomb. A worked shoot promo where the wrestler giving the promo appears to break kayfabe and touches on real life topics that are considered taboo, such as backstage. Ooh. Interesting. Most moves require the other person to work with you. Yeah, that makes sense. The CM pipe bomb is legendary. Oh. Yeah, no, I know shoot. Shoot is like speaking about the real world, and a work is, you know, the kayfabe. Plant. A wrestler, stagehand, or actor who poses as a fan. Plants are often victimized or attacked by heel wrestlers in order to gain heat, or are used to participate in matches or storylines after being randomly selected from the crowd. Notable examples of plants were the WWE debut of Santino Marella. Interesting. Okay. Back to where we were. Pre-show. A free television program aired prior to a... Okay. We already talked about that. Program. A series of matches in which the same wrestlers face each other. My throat is really getting bad. I'm just not going to read ones that aren't relevant. Okay. Promo. An in-character interview or monologue. Often includes either in-ring interview or a skit by wrestlers and other performers to advance the storyline or feud. So this is anything that's not wrestling, basically. The act of performing a promo is referred to as cutting, as in cutting a promo. And the promo is aimed at a specific opponent, which can be an individual, tag team, stable, or faction. It is said to be cut on the target. God, see... Before tonight, if you told me, oh, he was cutting a promo on the stable, I couldn't even begin to tell you what that meant. When the promo is aimed at a specific opponent, which could be an individual, a promo is an essential part of any wrestling show and is named as such as it is meant to promote an upcoming show or feature segment on the current show. A promo is how you sell the upcoming match. It's basically the advertisement to get people to buy tickets. But it sounds like it's also them literally about to do the match and just talking. Yeah, so when you cut someone to make them bleed, it's called gigging. And when you go to a gig, it's called cutting. Gotcha. More or less. Protected. An aspect of the business which is consciously presented in a way that will make it look as strong and credible as possible. Wrestlers can be protected by booking them in a way that emphasizes their strengths and hides their weaknesses as a performer, while a move can be protected by having all opponents sell strongly and rarely kick out. Interesting. It can be for later in a show, like stay tuned and don't watch that dial. Gotcha. But it's basically just anything that's not wrestling, right? It's all of the talking bits. Talk. Pull apart. A brawl so vicious the combatants need to be pulled apart. Pure wrestling. See, technical wrestling. Puroresu. Push. The worked rising. Oh my god. I know the meaning of work and shoot, like inherently, but when I see it in a sentence, it's really hard for me to parse the sentence. The worked rising of a wrestler's status. Okay. Oh, because they're like being pushed. Yeah. Put over. The act of one wrestler helping to boost the status of another, most often by losing a match or by selling their opponent as a credible threat. Wrestling. If my throat weren't so screwed up, I would try to do my best southern accent. But I really couldn't right now if I wanted to. Originally, along with grunt and groan, used by the mainstream media when presenting a derisive story on professional wrestling. This has more history to it than I thought. Receipt. A term for returning a particularly stiff move back to a wrestler. Oh yeah. This is usually done when one wrestler is being legitimately hurt by his or her opponent's blows, and the wrestler being hit will send a legitimate move or hit back to the opponent as a wordless reminder to not hit so hard. I love that. I mean, it makes sense. It's very intuitive, but it's got such a good word. Ref bump. A scenario where the referee of the match takes a bump and is knocked out and taken out of the match, temporarily or permanently. This usually occurs to allow a storyline to progress. Oh my god. So this is an era. Era. This is an era? That's too many people's names. Rematch clause. When a champion loses their title to another, this may be invoked to procure a title rematch in the near future. The fictional clause is often ignored in storylines. People will also talk in those cases to lighten up or be less stiff if they're too polite for receipts. Okay. Gotcha. Repackage to give a wrestler a new gimmick. Rest hold. A loose hold applied during a match during which wrestlers catch their breath or plan the next series of spots together. Rib. A practical joke played on a wrestler. Okay. That's just a word. Lots of talking happens in the ring. The ref can send messages between the two if they're not right next to each other. Interesting. Ring psychology. The process of a wrestling match in which the way the crowd becomes emotionally involved. Performing an engaging match requires acting skills and a good grasp of dramatic timing. Ring general. An experienced wrestler who knows how to work a match to its full potential. Ring rat. Similar to a groupie who frequents wrestling events to pursue sex with wrestlers. Okay. Road warrior pop. A loud roar of approval that a wrestler receives from fans when making their entrance to the ring. Why is it capitalized? In reference to one of the more iconic and idolized tag teams in WWE history, the Road Warriors. That's why it's capitalized. Also known as Legion of Doom. Rope break. A break of the pin count or submission when a wrestler has his hands or feet on the rope or under the rope. So if you grab the rope, you're free from the pin, right? I kept seeing that happen in matches and I didn't really understand what's going on. Rub. Helping a less popular wrestler get over by associating them with the more prominent or popular wrestler. Interesting. A clean win needs to happen in the ring. If you touch the rope, you're free. Okay. That's what I want to know. Run-in. The unexpected entry of a new wrestler. Okay. Rushed, finished. Finish. Okay, so it's the same as an audible finish. Sandbag. To sabotage a throw by letting one's body go limp instead of cooperating. So this is the same as like a potato sack, which makes the throw much harder, if not impossible to execute. This move is typically done deliberately to make the attacker appear weak or unskilled, but it can be the result of a botch. Sandbagging can be dangerous, as many moves require specific actions. Is this the same as a potato sack, or is it somewhat different? Schmooze. A match that ends in chaos. Green wrestlers were sandbagged by accident too. Gotcha. A match that ends in chaos rather than a decisive finish usually do. Okay, how much more do we have? Ugh. If we can get past S, we're good. Wait, this I'm confused about. An unfair or controversial finish, often involving cheating or outside interference. A worked screw job is part of the story and is used to generate heat or sympathy while allowing a popular babyface to lose without losing credibility. A shoot screw job occurs when the finish is changed without informing the losing wrestler beforehand, is what they mean, not informing them in general. One famous instance of this was Montreal's screw job at the 1997 Survivor Series when Shawn Michaels won the WWF's championship from Bret Hart after Vince McMahon ordered referee Earl Hebner to ring the bell. Valet? Oh. Okay. Understood. It's like a sexy girl or whatever. Sell. Or like whoever. Could be anyone, I guess. To react to something in a way which makes it appear believable. Right. To forcibly throw a wrestler from inside the ring to the floor. Outside the ropes. Ooh, that sucks. Shoot style. A style of professional wrestling that originated in Japan, shoot style employs stiff strikes, realistic submission holds, and occasionally a round system or other specific rules and ways to win it and attempt it. Oh god. That sounds awful. I mean, yeah, I guess it's all at work, but... Signature move. A move a wrestler regularly performs. Duh. Slow burn, a storyline that developed. Okay, duh. Smart. We already know. Smart. Having inside knowledge of wrestling business, originally used to refer to those who were aware of the existence of kayfabe and scripted nature. The act of teaching someone inside knowledge. Okay, snug. To appear real pressure, to apply real pressure and a hold, either to make it appear more realistic to the audience or to exact supremacy or revenge of an opponent. I guess that's, yeah. Sports entertainment. That's funny. Any planned action in a series of actions in a match. Variations include high spot, comeback spot, hope spot, and home spot. I remember reading this, but I don't remember what it is. Oh, right. Spot monkey, spot fest. Shoots, full cowl shoot style. Oh, it's gotta be a relation of wrestling, doesn't it? I am sports entertained. Thank you, WWE. I am sports entertained by this event. Spot. Any planned action or series of actions in a match. Variations include that spot fest is. Okay, so this is implying that a significant portion of a match is unplanned moves? Unchoreographed moves? Is that true? Which I think makes sense, but I just want to confirm it. Spot monkey. Squared ring. Squash. An extremely one-sided match, sometimes called tomato can match. It's more like a ton of highly choreographed, big, hard-hitting moves. Oh, is what a spot fest is? Okay, gotcha. Stable. Often without a story of I'm attacking their leg to go for a submission. Gotcha. It's more I want big fancy set of cool, super cool spots. Gotcha. Stick. A microphone. The stick used to deliver a promo. Sting money. A term from the 1990s used to refer to a lucrative contract such as the one held by Sting. Interesting. Strap. Stretching, the act of causing physical harm to prospective professional wrestlers, usually by means of submission holds. In kayfabe period, this served as a dual purpose of protecting the wrestling business from accusations of being fake and instilling humility in newer members of the locker room. That's hazing. Sting still wrestles? God, he's 63. Oh my god, he's in AEW. He wrestled recently. You'd say the early Ruby fights were spot fests? Stretching. An act of causing physical harm prospective professional wrestlers. Already said this. Strike. Any contact made by one wrestler to their opponent. A violation of WWE's wellness policy with 3... Oh, yeah. The strong style. We already kind of read that. Swerve. A sudden change in the direction of a storyline to surprise the fans often involves one wrestler turning on an ally in order to join a supposed mutual enemy. Swerves frequently start feuds between former allies. This also refers to when a booker leads fans to believe that something is going to happen, or someone could appear at a show before doing something entirely different. Tease. To indicate a turn. A face teases a heel turn if they start exhibiting heel behaviors, and a heel Interesting. Technical wrestler. Titantron. That's so weird. Transitional champion? Oh. Weird. Night. We're almost done here. Night. Turn. A switch. No, yeah, we're done. A tweener. A morally ambiguous character who's neither face nor a heel, as an in-betweener. And sometimes describes a heel who usually cheered, or a face who is usually jeered, especially when two faces or two heels face each other. Unified. Ooh, can't say that out loud. Okay. Vignette. Any piece of video footage featuring characters or events which is shown to the audience for the purposes of entertainment or edification, usually mean to introduce a debuting character to get wrestlers. Oh, okay. Right. Yeah, okay, I knew that. I haven't heard that word used like that in a really long time. Visual fall. A pinfall that the referee does not see, but the crowd does. It's usually followed by a late kick out when the referee eventually sees the pinfall and starts counting. It is then used to heighten the drama of a match by showing that the pinning wrestler had done enough to win by pinfall. Yeah. Interesting. Worker. The in-ring performance level a wrestler puts into the match is judged by a combination of skill and effort. A wrestler considered talented in the ring has a high work rate. Wrestler's court. A term often used to describe kangaroo... Ooh, God. That picture. Jesus. Okay, held backstage with a congregation of wrestlers. This is often used to settle backstage disputes and writers. In WWE, The Undertaker is known for being the judge, jury, and executioner, and JBL is the prosecutor. This is so funny. A wrestler's court during their full-time tenures in the company, punishments for those found guilty often include the purchase of the night's... Oh, that's so cheap. I thought they were gonna get crap beat out of them. Write-off. A book or angle and or match so as to explain in kayfabe a race... This is what you're talking about, where he had his ankle injured for 60 days. X Division, a high-flying, high-risk, fast-paced style of professional wrestling, which was originated in total non-stop action wrestling. Rather than emphasizing the fact that most wrestlers who perform this style are under 220 pounds, they decided to emphasize the high-risk nature of the moves that the wrestlers perform, removing all restraints or placed on wrestlers, allowing them to perform almost stunt-like wrestling moves. X signal, a signal used by referees during the match to indicate that a wrestler is unable to continue and may need medical attention. Oh! JBL was a known bully and harasser. Oh boy. The referee will cross their arms and, if necessary, point to the injured wrestler. Since many fans are aware of the significance of the signal, and with referees often not now having direct communications with producers backstage, it is now sometimes used in kayfabe fashion to sell a storyline injury. Interesting. That's so wild. Talk about like 360. X-Pac heat. When fans jeer at a wrestler because they dislike the wrestler personally as opposed to the character he or she is playing in the ring. Named after Sean Waltman. Oh, that sucks. Again, like these things that are like specifically named after people who was believed to have overstayed his welcome by some fans and so was jeered regardless of whether he was a face or heel character. Young boy. I don't like that. A rookie, particularly, okay, in Japanese wrestling, the term young lion is used for the trainees in the New Japan Pro Wrestling Dojo, although they may perform at New Japan Pro Wrestling shows, typically on the lower card. They are also assigned other tasks such as security around the ring. Wild. Okay, last one, and it's a wild term. Zabara. Zabara. Term for an arbitrary and as yet undefined tool intended to fill in a hole in a match or angle. What do they mean, tool? What does that mean? They have absolutely stretched people out only for 20 minutes later for them to return to a match carrying the neck brace off, and usually for matches with more than 2 people, obviously. Oh my god, that's so funny. This Z word is new to you? What is this? Do you understand the definition? I don't understand the definition. What do they mean, tool? Or does the definition also not make sense to you? I assume like a pickaxe or something. Sorry, you don't know? Okay, well, let's look at the oh. It's a filler word. It's just a filler word. I'll come out, cut a promo, run in, zabada, and then finish. I see. I don't know why they said tool though. That seems weird. Okay, we did it. We went through the whole dictionary. That was not in the plan, but highly necessary. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see anyone's videos. I think that what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch some of the videos off stream, the ones that I think will get me DMCA'd. And we'll come back on Thursday for a guerrilla stream continuing my education. Like jawing at the crowd. Jawing! That's not a word in here. They missed that word. I can assume the definition, but that's not in here. Jawing. But yes, I'll see you guys all tomorrow, actually. For piano practice. Same time, same place. Oh boy. Oh boy, that was a lot of learning. I learned so much. Gaga? Oh, interesting. Interesting. Oh my god, big stretch, big stretch. Gaga is the stuff you do when you're not doing spots. Gotcha. It's the filler. Okay. I'm so tired. My throat. I'm surprised my camera lasted this long. Oh yeah, it actually lasted pretty. Lasted pretty good. Okay. Yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow for piano. This was so much fun. I'm so glad. Well, we'll do it again Thursday. more on Thursday. And honestly, probably, I imagine that in the workout stream, I'll probably be talking about wrestling. I'm not really sure. I'll probably have things I want to talk about. So, yeah, we thought, I thought I was doing the piano arc. Turns out I started the wrestling arc. Who knew? Who freaking knew? Who freaking knew? I'll see y'all later. Bye.